Euzubillahimineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi şrah li sadri ve yessir li emri ve min lisani yefkahu kavli. Selamun aleyküm ve rahmetullahi ve berekatuhu. Inshallah, we will continue with the 28th letter. This is from the book Letters, 28th letter and the 5th matter. So we already read it before anyway. So I hope this second read reminded you the topic. So there are a few points that I like to discuss today specifically. One, there was a question last week. Who asked it? I don't remember. She's not here. Okay. If anyone remembers the question, we can discuss this question. The second, I like the cover, the part it says it shows ingratitude to be denial and negation. Shows ingratitude to be denial and negation. Why ingratitude is a denial and negation? I like to cover this part. The second part, or with the question, the third part, he talks about the prayer, prescribed prayers, being the best form of gratitude, thanks. So I think we can cover this part as well. And the last, at the very end, he talks about how when you are grateful, when you are thankful, the pleasure you have, it becomes an eternal pleasure. And the opposite is if you are ingrateful and not thankful, then the pleasure has to be a temporary, and it doesn't stop there either. It is a temporary pleasure that brings the pain. So we touched upon that last week, I believe, but let's do it again in forms of the comparison. When you are thankful, it becomes an eternal pleasure. When you are not thankful, it becomes temporary pleasure followed by pain. These notes being shared. Who wants to start with the initial comments? And anybody remember, does anybody remember the question from last week? There's one more point, again from last week. Somebody shared the hadith. If you cannot thank people, you cannot be thankful to God. I like to discuss this hadith again, inshallah. I don't know where we should start. Anyone? Yusuf, please.
And there is one other point that we can discuss. He also mentions that in thanks, there is a pure, sincere belief.
In thanks?
There's a pure, sincere belief.
Okay.
Since we have been studying the topic of nifaq, like hypocrisy, for the past weeks, ikhlas, sincerity, is the opposite of it.
Okay.
So thanks being related to that also appeared important.
Okay, alhamdulillah, good point. So not to cause any confusion when he says we've been studying hypocrisy, is referring to the Tuesday classes, not Fridays. Okay, so who wants to start with any part of the text? Otherwise, I will start with the hadith. Who shared the hadith last week? Sorry? Okay, Sister Iman, and she's upstairs. Okay, what do you think about this hadith? Like, if you cannot, rough translation, if you cannot be thankful to the people, then you cannot be thankful to God. How should we understand that? Because last week, one of our friends, so pious, he said we should be careful when we are thanking people or when we are expecting thanks from people. As if he was claiming that he doesn't want, any thanks in return of his pickles. I'm not giving any names. So, but in Hadith, it says you should be thankful to people, otherwise you cannot be thankful to God. So how should we understand this Hadith? Sarah, would you like to take the first? It looks like, you thought about it, you have some contemplation inside, and then, okay. Anyone? If you cannot be thankful to people, you cannot be thankful to God. Oh, do you have the microphone or? Okay.
Well, I just remember something that Brother Yusuf said about it that stayed with me, which was that, you know, when I interact with other people, when I live with other people, it becomes thanking them or experiencing things through other people. It becomes a kind of means to practice what expressing thanks is about. And if we think about this world that I'm in, my life as it is, as a training grounds, as a place of education, that it makes sense that, I learn everything about my existence through my experience of the world. I don't learn about things through this sort of abstract idea of things, right? I experience it through, someone does something nice to me and I feel gratitude. So I think it makes sense that, yes, I will experience gratitude towards other people. I will experience the need to express that gratitude towards other people because it's only through those emotions and through those interactions that I can then discover what it means to express and experience gratitude towards the Creator and say that, oh, like this is, it's not just a concept that's being mentioned to me through the Quran, through these Quranic verses, but it's something that I live and experience in my day-to-day life. But then there's the second facet of it, which is that, okay, I experience it through these people, but like if someone made a meal for me, I just enjoyed a meal, who gave them the sense of generosity, who gave them the ability to cook, who gave them the ability to want to share, the emotion to share, such that I should channel this gratitude to also the actual source of those beautiful qualities that I experienced through this person as a mirror. So yeah, I learned to thank my Creator. I learned to experience these emotions of thankfulness through this physical world and this form of existence, which involves other people, is just inevitable. But then there's the responsibility to also investigate further of where those qualities that I so like, so admire, so appreciate are really coming from. That's my understanding.
Jazakallah khairan. So, anyone else? No. Okay, so
I think it's also an important hadith because sometimes we have many pious people in our lives, including ourselves, that say, well, see, like, what about the Holocaust last Friday? Maybe you shouldn't express so much, you shouldn't need so much appreciation to expect it from God. And it's important that
you expect things, just because you
Sure.
did your job properly.
exactly.
Jazakallah khairan. So, okay, let's continue from this idea of maybe the experience, as you mentioned. So the reason I wanted to, the re-highlight this hadith is that I was thinking about something else, and then this hadith came to my mind. So for instance, if I say, if you are not pleased with your life, there is no way that you can be pleased with God. I guess it is easier to understand in the sense that you know God only through this creation. There is no such thing as, without knowing creation, like without eating any food, for instance, no way you would know that there's a food giver, the one who provides food, right? And if you dislike everything you eat, there is no way that you would love whoever is giving you food, right? Let it be your husband, your wife, your mom. If you don't like the food you eat, you cannot appreciate his or her, the cooking skills. No way. Like there's no such thing, for instance, if you are watching some movies from a director and all the movies you watch, you hate them, you don't understand anything, but you still say that I really appreciate this director. And I know that he's really good, but I don't enjoy his movies or her movies. There's no such thing. You're just, using some nonsense words, maybe to impress your friends, or finding some excuses of you not understanding the movies. But there's no way that you can appreciate this director if the movies are terrible for you. We can expand the analogy, with other examples as well. If you do not enjoy the arts, right? You look at these artworks and you say that, nah, not for me. But then you cannot say that I really appreciate the artist. There's no such thing. Same applies to the creation as well. We frequently formulate this as, if you do not see rububiyah in the creation, meaning somebody is taking care of you. If you do not see that you are being taken care of, somebody is providing for you, somebody is shaping your life, right? Protecting you. If you don't see that, there is no way you can be an abd, worshipper. If there is nothing to be, nothing that is worthy of worship, there's no worship. I hate my life, but I really, love my creator. No way. It's like an oxymoron. Okay? Then maybe we can understand the hadith in the same way as well. If you cannot be thankful to the people, or you can even say that if you cannot be thankful to the things in your life, let it be the people, let it be animals, or the plants, or the sun. If you cannot be thankful to the sun, you cannot be thankful to the creator, the God. Why? Because you never have any experience in your life in which God, with his hands, like literally speaking now, providing you something, giving you something. There's no such thing. When God provides you food, for instance, he provides through your mom, your husband, your wife, your father. That's how you get the food. When God gives you mercy, for instance, or compassion, you experience it through what? A compassion of your parents, of your spouse, of your children. This is how you're experiencing it. There is no such thing that I was, the working other day and God came and start playing with my hair. There's no such thing. Right? Your mom will do it. That's at least how you experience it. So if you cannot be thankful to these actors that you experience the compassion or risk, sustenance through, then there is no way you can say that I am thankful to God. If what your mom does is not word of thanks, then your God, you cannot be thankful to your God, your creator. You don't like the artwork. Again, the reason I wanted to highlight to, they re-emphasize this approach, the method that we shouldn't forget. We know creator through the creation. We appreciate, we love creator through our love to the creation, towards creation. Not for the sake of the creation, but the sake of the experience we, live. And somebody's taking care of me. Somebody is giving this, the beautiful thing to me. Whatever it is. If you are not enjoying your time with your children, you just take it as a burden, right? There's no way you can be thankful to your God, your creator. Okay, what do you think? There are some puzzled faces, a few of them I will not name in 1 minute. After 1 minute, I will. Okay, let's go back to the text then. The first part, author says, so let me read the text. Oh yeah, please.
Oh, I mean, I'm just trying to. I feel like it sounds nice, but I feel like it's also dangerous, or not, maybe not dangerous, but also just like not real, maybe, because
Nice, but it's wrong.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's wrong, but I'm just like, it sounds nice. Like, oh yeah, first you need to enjoy your relationship with your mom. You have to enjoy your relationship with your children. You have to enjoy your life. Be thankful for your life. Oh, it's so nice. Everything's going so well. And then, you can, I mean, you didn't say it this way, like such discreet stuff, but, and then you can thank God and then be like, oh, what beauty God has created. It's so nice. I can be happy about this. Like, there's so much amazing beauty in my life. Of course, I'm going to thank God. Well, my mind first goes to like, if I'm living such a beautiful life, then I don't need God anyways. Let me just like, if to be thankful to God, then I need to first enjoy my life. Then I just don't see the why I even need to be thankful at the end there. But that's like one thought I have. The second thought I have is like, everyone wants to be happy. Like no one wants to just be sad. And I think the problem, it sounds nice, yeah, like okay, you have to be thankful to people and then you can be thankful to God. But I mean, that's the problem. Like, yeah, if we could be thankful, I guess, if we could enjoy life, if everything was very nice and like there wasn't problems, and like, I mean, a lot of people, they're like, oh, what do I have to thank God for? Or life sucks, or this is like that, or everything's just terrible. I mean, obviously there's so many flaws in those kinds of statements as well. I think that's very clear, and it's not very correct approach, of course, but I'm just not sure. I think it just needs to be like open up a lot more, and just leaving it at kind of where we left it. I don't know if it'll help me going forward in anything, really.
Does that line up? Anyone? Oh, I have two. Would you like? Anyone?
I think for me, I interpret it more that if we can't be thankful for the simple things that humans can do for us, like how could you ever be thankful for the magnificent things that Allah provides for us? Like, for example, someone cooked you a meal in comparison to the na'am that Allah gives us, like our heart beating from the day of birth till we die, like the ability to breathe, the ability to see, the ability to sense. Like those things alone, nothing can compare to them. So maybe for me, the hadith is focusing like someone who's unable to thank like a materialistic, like earthly favor. How could they ever have the, fortitude to be thankful for things that, they take for granted, like their senses and their bodies and things like that. And so those types of people, like they're not thankful to materialistic things. How could they ever think about the, the bigger picture? That's how I understood the hadith. And so people who are thankful for the simple things, I feel like can, feel that, alhamdulillah, like, I can breathe. Some people have trouble breathing, I have my limbs, and like so on and so forth.
Jazakallah khairan. So I already spoke too much already. So if I continue with this, it will be even longer. So if I would appreciate if someone else, to continue there. So there's this distinction she made, things that people do and things that God does, or things that are material, kind of, it happens within the material system itself, and then there's the intervention of God doing things, kind of like that. That's the distinction I heard, but
I think that distinction is there, like whether it is in fact the case or not, but in our perception it is there. And I think that was a fair point, because if I look at it from my point of view, me thanking to someone, in fact, it might eventually be wrong, but let's not get there yet. Let's say, I don't know, Abdurrahman smiles at me, and I thank at Abdurrahman because nobody else is really even smiling at me, but Abdurrahman does. At least in this case, what that means is, on my end, I don't take it for granted that somebody has to smile at me. Like appreciating the fact that I am being provided. Because really feeling entitled is such a huge problem, which removes sustenance altogether from my world. Feeling entitled simply means it has to be there. There is nothing. That's what it means, really. So if I am able to be thankful even to Abdurrahman for his smile, which you already mentioned that eventually it's going to be wrong because Abdurrahman is not source of it. But let's put it aside for a second. This ability to thank means I'm not taking things for granted, which is a good start. But then the second stage is what Sister Aisha was expanding. Yes, then once I realized that, how about Abdurrahman? Is he the real source of this smile? Then once I realized that actually the one who gives this beautiful shape to Abdurrahman's face must be the one who truly deserves this thank, this is when then I will turn my thanks towards the true source. But then Sister Aisha Noor's second point comes into action. So after the discussion, husband says, why shall I thank you, wife? Didn't you hear what was discussed in the discussion? So what am I going to do then if I am done with Abdurrahman altogether, but still he's smiling, and the creator is still creating me in the same environment with Abdurrahman? Am I going to turn my back to Abdurrahman and just face towards my creator? It's not real either, because still I am within this creation, this existence. That's why now my interaction with Abdurrahman is going to be not being like we are changing our understanding of things, but rather this is why in practice, in prophetic tradition, we will see Sahaba would be making dua to each other and asking for dua from each other. So then I will say to Abdurrahman, may Allah be pleased with you when he smiles at me, rather than thanking him. Like the notion of thanks gets replaced with making a dua for Abdurrahman. So in a sense, still the appreciation, I am still showing my appreciation. But in this case, it's not like, oh, Abdurrahman, thank you for your smile. If your smile was not there, I would be doomed. But rather, oh, Abdurrahman, I appreciate that the Creator is reflecting this beauty to me towards you, and may Allah be happy with you, be pleased with you, because you didn't prevent it. So this is why I would like to put a supplication there. I mean, the reason I would like to get this extension is because, yes, ultimate truth is good, but other truths that takes us to there is still truth. So when trying to find the truth, let's not harm the truth out there.
Jazakallah khairan. Jazakallah khairan. Abdurrahman, would you like to say anything, or is it okay? Okay. So let's read this part, which says it shows in the Quran, the all-wise distinguisher between truth and falsehood, calls on men to offer thanks, giving it the greatest importance. Calls on men to offer thanks, giving it the greatest importance. It shows ingratitude to be a denial of bounties, and in Surah Rahman utters forth a fearsomely severe threat 33 times with the words, so which of the favors of your sustainer do you deny? Kadhiba, right? So kadhaba. Because in the ayah there is the highlight on denial, author says it shows ingratitude to be denial and negation. It's not like, just being neutral. You are given something and you just being neutral, and you don't, let's say, disregard them, or you just don't appreciate them. You're just living your life. But author says, no. Actually, if you are not thankful, you are denying something. You are negating something. So let's try to understand this denial and negation part. What is it that we are denying when we are not thankful? Because as Abdurrahman mentioned, we are not thankful most of the times. That's what he meant, I believe. We are not thankful most of the times. Everybody wants to be happy, but life is not. Right? So what is it wrong? What is wrong with that? I can still be thankful to God, even if I hate my life. So where's the denial there? Oh yeah, please. Who has the microphone?
The way I understand this is that sometimes we take things for granted. We think that, oh, what we have is just like, is the normal, everyone has it. It's not a big deal, right? And when we take it for granted, we don't realize that the thing we have is something that not everyone enjoys, and we have to be grateful for the existence of that thing. So if we take it for granted, we just denying the existence of that blessing as something special for us. And therefore, I think that is something which it can explain the negation part, that you, by not accepting it or by not being thankful to it, you are just not realizing that, this blessing or this thing that you have is something special and not a very ordinary thing. Like even breathing, being healthy, something not everybody enjoys.
Very good. Okay, let's continue from this taking granted. I think that's really important. You're speaking on? Okay. Yeah, please.
I guess when we were going through the frugality discussions, there was this example with PlayStation 5. Like this spoiled child, since Abdurrahman is on my radar today. As Abdurrahman are living in a household with just for the sake of argument, with a swimming pool and everything. And then from his dad, he says, oh, PlayStation 5 for my not even birthday, or one of the many birthdays that he has throughout the year. Some occasion to celebrate. And then his dad doesn't buy it, and he gets so upset. So then, like, imagine an extra spoiled Abdurrahman. Our Abdurrahman is mashallah, a good brother. But like hitting the food to the ground and saying, I want it. And dad says, no. And then, you never buy anything to me, sort of a cry starts coming after. In such case, what's happening? Like, this PlayStation 5 didn't come. And in the world of such a person, nothing is there. Nothing was done so far, as if. And I think we find ourselves in such situations. Sometimes I apply for a job and it doesn't happen, and I feel like always bad things happen to me. Like this sort of an attitude. Something I want doesn't appear in my life, and I feel the most miserable man on earth. Nothing is being given to me. These are all denials of what I have been receiving so far. And it's being enough to hide everything that I have received in my world as if I received nothing.
I have one example. So other day I was talking to my daughter. So good things happening in life, and like one day, another day, all good news. Okay? And I'm talking to my daughter saying that, oh, we should like make dua, because we are given all these good things. Let's be thankful. So don't forget to make duas. I talked to her after maybe 1 hour. I get a bad news about something, and as if nothing happened. Like it was me telling my daughter that we should be thankful for everything we've been receiving so far.
But it must be something very bad. Like what happened? Some
Oh no, it's
burn or something.
no, it's not even that. The worthy,
Just
sorry,
a paper rejection.
something like that. Yeah. So as if it was not me who were remembering all these beautiful bounties, even telling my daughter that we should be thankful. I found myself, like after 2 hours, I realized, like for 2 hours, I was just, like Abdurrahman, there's nothing good in this life. How do you expect me, be thankful? So if we follow your logic, we cannot be thankful to God. There must be some other ways, because nothing good in my life is happening. Right? That was my attitude. So it's like we are really tend to take things granted, even if we remind ourselves. Like the next moment, we just forget about them because they already done, right? We already have them. We usually are thankful as a means of like a transaction. I'm thankful. I mean, I have this inclination to be thankful so that something good will come, not because something good already come, right? I guess that's our usual state. So anyway, so then ingratitude being denial is not being able to recognize all the good things that's happening to you so far. Even when you are hungry, let's say, right? When you are hungry, when you are reminded, like if you are hungry and if you are aware of that, what does it mean, really? It means up until that moment, you were not hungry. up until that realization, you've been fed. Like feeling hungry, let's say you cannot find food for a few weeks. And you will die, but let's be more realistic, for a few days. Yeah. So it's something bad, right? But at the same time, it means up until that moment, you've been fed. Otherwise, you wouldn't even, experience such hunger. You would be dead. So the feeling of the hunger and being aware of, like, a consciousness of hunger, it's actually a reminder that you've been provided. It's maybe it's even stronger reminder than when you are fed. So it's a reason to be thankful. Microphone, please, if you have.
I was thinking something, I guess, very similar to that or tangential to that. Sometimes when I talk to my mother, she'll tell me something I already know, and I'll very snobbily tell her, like, okay, mom, I already know. And she'll say, like, oh, you think you know everything? And I'm like, well, I knew that, right? So as opposed to telling her thank you for her wisdom or for her being motherly, I'll just say, I already knew that. Which means that what she did was not helpful. Like, she didn't give me something. I didn't need her to tell me that. So I feel like that never happens with your creator. Like, you're always needy and you're always being provided. And that's why that merits a thank you, right? So when you don't, like, when you're not grateful, then you fall in, like, how I am with my mother, right? Like, I didn't need you. And I think that that's the wrong stance to live by, right? Like, you think you could have done it without your creator? You think you're powerful? No, you're powerless. And when you don't say thank you, when you're not grateful, then I think that's where the denial comes. You deny your neediness by saying that I didn't need you.
Jazakallah. So I wish Ahmed was here. Like the last week he was giving, on behalf of him, please. Yeah. So that I won't be talking behind him. So last week he was giving the example, like I started the example with the BMW, like driving the BMW. And he said, I mean, this is a good example. Let's think about a bad example, he said. And he was giving the example, bad example. He was going with his electric scooter on the road, right? That's the bad example. So that's, how we all take things as granted. I mean, I don't have BMW, just an electric scooter, right? Not even working. So that much, taking granted is there always in our lives. I mean, for what I should be thankful? I only have 2 pence, right? Or it's the same shirt I'm, wearing the last a few months, not even years. That's our usual attitude, right? There's nothing to be thankful. So it's like when you say that, like, my life is not that exceptional, it is actually not being a neutral or not just being realistic. It is denial. Any comments, Zarin?
I was wondering if how to reconcile being grateful while also wanting justice in things because I could
One thing,
see-
what? Sorry.
wanting like I can't think of a better phrasing, but I'll give an example. But wanting justice in
Okay.
things, like for example, if you tell someone in a war zone, for example, to be grateful for the position like they're in, which there are things that to be grateful for even in that position, but it's like it would probably be hard to say something like that. Like I guess it feels like, for lack of a better phrasing, it feels like, you could, I guess, turn into a doormat, I guess, and be taken advantage of, like, in different ways. But, like, as long as you're truly in this mindset, like, does it not matter if, like, if, say, you have a certain wage and it's below the poverty line of whatever place you're in, I guess you could be grateful for even having that, but should it not be, would it not be just to ask for the like average standard of living, for example, like in that city? So I'm just like wondering, could those be like mixed up? Like in my head, it seems to be getting a bit mixed up, like being grateful, but also wanting like fairness in things. That makes sense.
Jazakallah khairan. Who wants to start? Oh, first. Yeah. And then Abdurrahman, inshallah.
But in those cases, isn't it also important to have patience? I mean, that is also another form of being thankful there, because, for example, in the case of Ayub alayhi salam, like he was going through the extreme struggle for a long time, but he was patient. He was asking for something better. That is also a form of thankfulness, right?
I just wanted to add on to what Zareen was saying. Like, I think definitely, like when a baby throws a tantrum, it's very clear, like they're being, like, let's say, unreasonable, but also as adults, we of course also throw, let's say, tantrums and being unreasonable. I accept. Don't worry. No, but what my point is, definitely there's a lot of things like like there's so much to be thankful for, like so much, and not just apologetically, or like not just like, oh yeah, I should be so thankful I have this, but like actually, yeah, I'm very thankful, like this is given. But at the same time, let's say you are that child that wants that Xbox or something, or you wanted this job, and it's also true that when you don't get it, you feel a lot of sadness, like, and yeah, you can tell yourself, but I'm given so much, or I'm given this and I'm that, and you should do that, and you should, like, I've been given so much to be grateful about, and not even maybe try not to lie to yourself about, like, the actual things that you should be grateful for. But at the same time, you do feel that sadness, like, I guess maybe just this similar there, like what Zarian saying is, you try and make sense of that sadness, and I think patience is a very good answer there. It could be, but like how can I be then thankful for this happening as well? And I think it is also important that I want to learn to be thankful to my creator, even for that sadness, let's say, because like if thanks is such an important thing of the universe, everything points to thanks. Then when I am not given something, instead of just saying, oh, I should be thankful for everything I was given and not this, but I guess it comes to patience, and maybe this is a next step you go to, but like, alhamdulillah, I'm thankful that even this thing I wasn't given, I know he didn't give it not to hurt me, or not because like it wasn't like, oh, you're already given so much, you don't need this much more, you're gonna be spoiled. It wasn't like this kind of mindset. It was more, no, what is better for you is actually to not have it. And then so I'm like, okay, I'm thankful that it was not good for me to have it. Just like the mindset that just because you would be spoiled to one, it doesn't mean it's necessarily like you should just ignore it, I guess.
someone else here? Oh, okay. Yes.
Just in response to Zarine's question, I feel like gratitude does not necessarily mean complacency. Like if Iman comes and punches me right now in the cheek, I'm not going to say, "Oh, I should have sabr and patience." but
That was a warning.
but I can experience two things simultaneously. One, I can experience gratitude that my creator is the one that's creating the pain of that punch, right? And I can say, Alhamdulillah, that he's created me in such a way where I can receive and experience pain, through nerve receptors or whatever. And because that's vital, in fact, and I can experience what it means to feel pain such that I ask for healing from my creator, whatnot. I think I can recognize the ways in which I should express my gratitude even through that moment, while simultaneously recognizing that someone is misusing their free will to hurt me and that I shouldn't just turn the other cheek, right? Because the examples you gave necessarily involve the shortcomings of human beings, whether that's war zones or cost of living, etc., systems, right, that are constructed by human beings. But so I'm saying that like one can recognize the shortcomings, failures of other fellow human beings, but at the same time, in the case of, let's say I'm, experiencing neediness, like financial neediness or whatnot, I can say, Alhamdulillah, that this experience of neediness invites me to recognize that, oh, I am needy. Like I'm not deluded into thinking that I'm self-sufficient in any way. I'm not deluded into thinking that I can provide for myself, or that my boss can provide for myself, or that my job can provide for myself. That even that poverty can showcase to me the reality of what it is to be a human being and how to, express supplication to my creator, turn to my creator. So what I'm trying to say is, I think in all of those moments, even the things that we don't like, sadness, depression, poverty, whatever, there's something valuable that is being revealed to me about who I am and who I ought to turn to. And then the need for justice, that's also given. Just my 2 cents.
Oh, okay.
Which side? Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, as humans, I know we tend to be, like it's completely normal to, forget everything in the moment of heat and all. But one important thing that I wanted to tie in with this was it kind of what the sister said reminded me of this couplet from it's actually in Punjabi. So it goes on something like, so I'm gonna translate it as well, but it goes on something like Mali da kam pani dena barbar mashka pave. It's in Punjabi. So, and Malik da kam phal phullana lave ya na lave, which literally translates as it is gardener's job to water the plant, but it is up to God whether it bears the fruits or flowers or not. So, I mean, one important reminder that we need to give to ourselves is that one, we don't know whether we deserve anything. I mean, alhamdulillah, we have, everything. If we look at it, there's so many things to be thankful of. Like, just it. Like, if you look at yourself, just, and around you, there's so many things. And within ourselves alone as well, like, I sometimes think of it as, imagine one receptor stops working for you, and like that can just lead to a cascade of so many disorders within yourself. So I mean, subhanallah, the way God has created our body, alhamdulillah. But yeah, I mean, I think as humans, we just need to remind ourselves that one, we don't deserve anything. So we cannot expect him or like any of this order to be fair or anything in this dunya at least. And I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but that is how I've looked at it. And two, let's just, like keep doing the work and leave the rest to God and his affairs.
Anyone else?
I wanted to add, like, I think just thinking more about it, I feel that another reason to be thankful, I a lot of times the pain of like when something doesn't happen, I feel like the pain, and when I think about it, it's clear the pain is because I caused the pain to myself. Something didn't happen, and then I feel pain because I'm like, oh, if that happened, this would have happened. This would have been so much better. My expectations are like all these, let's say, things I imagine would be so much better for myself. So then I cause myself pain. And then actually when it doesn't happen, sometimes I see as time passes, oh, it's a good thing it didn't happen, or it's I needed to learn this or something like that. So, and then there I could think, oh, I should definitely be thankful because I'm causing myself the pain. Maybe I should complain about myself, but I should be thankful for, obviously not, my creator is not giving me pain there. It's not like, oh, I give you so much good, take a little pain. It's more, the pain is almost from my own doing, and I'm being receiving there.
We shouldn't also, I guess, forget that we always think, and we should always talk about what happens to us, or what it's my responsibility. It's my, let's say, I can only talk about my life. Okay? So, for instance, you cannot talk about how people in certain circumstances should be thinking or feeling. Because you cannot even imagine what kind of experience it is without living it. It will be just speculation. It's very interesting, like these people at Warzone, as one of these a comedian was saying, it is really hard to kill these people. Like, I know from my wife, these Palestinians, they really, hard to kill. He was saying, these people are really like, it looks like crazy, because every time you see a video, they are doing nothing but praising God. Like, they either say Allahu Akbar or Alhamdulillah, and they are under the bombs. I mean, what hamd you talking about, if you ask me, right? But these crazy people, I don't know, they see something. So again, we can only maybe imagine ourselves, but speculating about how others should be acting in certain circumstances, I guess that's not the point. Do you see a reason to be thankful in your life or not? I guess that's the question. And the same goes with poverty as well. I mean, none of us are filthy rich, except a few of us I will not name. Why you are laughing? I didn't even look at you. Okay, none of us filthy rich. So, I mean, it won't be hard to remember our moments of, not having enough money for something. And in that moments, yes, we do have desire to have more. And I usually take it as like as a call, not because like when you attribute this desire to yourself, then problem starts. Like you are given something and you have, as Zerrin, you have a desire for more. Then there is a mismatch between what is given and what you want, and there's a problem there. But if you take it as you are given something, and then you are given this desire from the same source, you are given this desire for more, then you can take it as whoever is given this thing in front of me, gave it to me, and then now telling me there's even more where it is coming from. Right? Seek for it, ask for it. Either as a material thing, I will give it, or through wanting it, you will learn something. But it's a call. Like you start a, let's say, university, right? You are grateful for starting the university, right? But it is at the same time a call, what you are feeling, a call that go through these 4 years. You don't say, I'm already grateful with what I have. I was able to start the university. I'm so thankful and I'm okay. I'm not taking the rest. There's no such thing. Because this gratefulness, the thank, even the desire, it's a call for more. There's more in front of you. Seek for it. Or sometimes a desire for something not given. Where does this desire come from? The one who gives you whatever you have tells you that there's more. Oh, let's move with her and then you.
You want to say something? So you were mentioning that this gap is a call for you to ask for more. How do you know that you're asking for the right thing necessarily? Let's say, for example, when I was applying to grad schools, I knew my top school was one in New York. I was set on it. That's the one I wanted. And I didn't even get an interview. But looking back, I was like, oh my God, alhamdulillah, I didn't. But had I had that perspective back then of like, oh, I really want to get into this school, maybe this desire is a call to like make dua for this. I'm worried that in putting effort into asking for dua for something very specific, being very blind as to whether that is good for me or not, how do you divorce yourself from ultimately Allah gave me the right thing for me, but there's that in that dua you have that emotional attachment of this is what I want without knowing that it's good for you. And so you get attached to this idea, and if it's not meant for you, then you're upset of like, certainly there's a reason for it, but how do you then, what is the best way to recognize that the gap between what I have and what I want? First of all, alhamdulillah for what I have, but for what I want, how do I even know that I'd be asking for the right thing? I just kind of curious about how you guys navigate, or what the thought is around that.
I was going to open up a different topic. But for this one, I guess I can say a few sentences. So like the prophetic practice of du'as, as we are learning from Quran, is generally more generic, although it sounds sometimes annoyingly generic, but I think there's a wisdom in there, which is this admitting that I do not know. I come to you with my need, and I feel like this is the right thing, but really I don't know, is yet another way of demonstrating my neediness and how lacking I am. So I guess using it as an that neediness and desire for a certain thing as an appetite to start the prayer, but then leaving it to the Creator's hands is how the prophetic tradition across the board, across all prophets, are inviting us to do. But still, that desire is there for a reason, and it is the invitation. I think this invitation part is there, using it as an occasion to start the process, but then do not simply carry it away with the feeling itself to the end and say that this is a good start, but wait a second, I shouldn't be blinded by my desire itself. Put a little bit of thought on top of it and then say, but whatever your wisdom is, so using it as such. So one more thing, one of the verses that author quoted at the beginning, he was saying, if you give thanks, I shall increase my favors to you. وَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. But like actually this verse came to my mind after I was criticizing something in my mind, which is, as I think you also mentioned this, we sometimes make thanks so that we receive more. Like it becomes some sort of a transaction. And sometimes we do it reverse. We do not receive something, and then we go back and ask from reimbursement from the Creator. I have been praying for so long and you didn't give this to me. It's just the opposite of it, right? You're claiming that if I offer thanks, you will increase your favors to me. I have been praying, I have been doing this and that. Look where my GPA is. Like it is as if now I am challenging the Creator, saying that you didn't give it to me. You promised, but you didn't give.
Anyway, just give me money.
So, what is actually what sort of increase that is being mentioned in here then? Because I remember once there was a brother who was at a very good university, very successful brother, mashallah, like valedictorian in his high school, get into some Ivy League university. And then he took some classes, and he was, mashallah, 5 times daily prayer, very pious brother. But somehow classes didn't go well. And he was going through this issue, like, I do all the prayers, and I'm not successful in the classes. And this generally happens if you get used to success, right? You have been successful. You have made it all the way to that university, but then at this point it didn't come. But there might be some thing like that brother might claim then, saying that, look, in your book, oh my Creator, you are saying if I offer my thanks, you will increase, and I have been thanking. Where's my success? Author also mentions a similar thing. This is why I think it's important to understand that in the text. What did he say? Let me read that part.
If you are looking for part that says true thanks, it becomes an eternal
No,
pleasure.
no. He was saying thanks makes that okay, I couldn't find it. But the notion was that thanks No. Okay. Anyways, I should pause here. If I find the text, I'll get back. Let's continue with your question. The question was, it says, if you thank me or if you are thankful, I will increase. So there are multiple ways to understand this. One is you are thankful for the money you are given and you expect more. You are thankful for your physique and you expect, I don't know, stronger, more beautiful physique. So we usually take it that way. And you want to say something, Yusuf? Okay, go ahead. So the sentence that I wanted to mention is author is saying that now we see that just as everything has been gathered around sustenance and looks to it, so does sustenance in all its varieties subsist through thanks. As if he says, if you thank more, sustenance will increase. Both material and immaterial, and that offered by word and state, sustenance exists through thanks. It produces thanks. It shows thanks. So, as if the more I thank, the more I realize the sustenance that I am given. Like in Shekartum Lezidennakum in another way means, the more you start thanking things in your life, you will realize that there are so many things to be thanked in your life as well. Because lack of thanks, on the ultimate end, what does this mean? There's nothing to thank for, which means there's no sustenance in my life. I take everything for granted. My life doesn't have any sustenance at this point, right? But once I start thanking for things, then that means I stop taking things for granted, then everything becomes a sustenance for me. My entire life, entire existence can ultimately become all providing of my creator. So life itself, any moment in life then becomes something to be thankful for. So as you become thankful, then like even from a material sense, the number of things that you can be thankful will really increase because you were not seeing them. Now you now start seeing them. That's one way. I guess the another way is also tying back to what I mentioned at the very end of the text. When you are thankful, author says, the bounty that you receive, this temporary bounty, will become eternal pleasure. So the value of it, the taste of it, let's say, or the pleasure you receive from it will become infinitely many. Anyone wants to talk about that part? How? Okay, let's go. No? You sure? Okay, you have a question.
So you mentioned, how it is being mentioned that if you give thanks, you're gonna, you're gonna get increased in the bounty and blessings. But like as humans, then you start to think of it as a transactional relationship, right? But that's not the right thing to do. You just thank God because, just for the sake of thanking God, not because of having it as a transactional value where you start expecting more. So how do, as humans, you change that mentality? Like, what do you tell yourself?
The question is clear and important. No one? Okay, sure. And I'm sure it was his fault, not yours. So the question was, like, when we think about such ayahs, if you be thankful, I will increase. We tend to take them as, again, a transaction. So you say, okay, I will be thankful so that I will receive more. How should we prevent this? That was the question. Microphone, please. Yeah. Need software
Yeah.
uploader.
You're so active. So so I'm just like clarifying the question and then like answering it, because what I understand is you're asking that if we're grateful, we expect to be blessed more and more, right? And how to like prevent this cycle of always expecting to be blessed more and more, right? So I think it also is with the acceptance that as good believers, we'll be tested with trials. Even if we are blessed with a lot of things and we are grateful for it, there will come a point in our life when we'll be tested, that how strong our faith is, how steadfast we are in our belief, how patient we are. And that trial is something which we will understand that, okay, this calamity that has come to us is not that God is taking away his blessings. It's more of like he's testing us, that I blessed you with everything you were grateful for, but I'm just testing you with a trial so that I can elevate your status from maybe from level 1 to level 5 or level so on, right? So you're not stuck at that level because you have actually mastered that level in its entirety. Yep. That's something.
Thank you. Serum, please. Yeah. No, Serum.
I was thinking that I don't know. First, I guess I'll give like maybe some personal experience where maybe I felt like really satisfied with something. Like I'll say like I had this really, I'll call it a reliable backpack. Like it lasted me a very long time. And and then I don't know, I was content with it. And then I didn't really ask for it, but maybe like me going around with this old backpack was a call in and of itself, but somebody gifted me a new backpack. And then the attitude was kind of like, oh, well, I was grateful for this backpack that I had, and now I'm kind of like I appreciate this new backpack, but I don't know. I guess maybe gifts might be complicated, but I was thinking that maybe the quantity doesn't really matter. Like if you have less of something and you're given more, or if you have more of something and then something happens and you get less, like I think if you're thankful, like it shouldn't matter what the quantity is what I'm kind of getting. Like you'll always maybe be on maybe like always be on like kind of on a guard, like I guess like a guard, like when you're interacting with things or when you're receiving things or losing things, like having this attitude of like everything is a gift no matter what the actual like measurable quantity is, if that makes sense. I'm having trouble like thinking of a concrete example, but I don't know. Sometimes it feels like if I don't get this thing or if I get this thing, they both feel the same kind of to me. Maybe that's like the attitude to help like not get into the idea of thanks equals more, I guess.
Cesar, going up. Oh, yeah. You raising your hand and then trying to find someone else.
I thought she had a comment before me. My bad. I just it might have been a question I should have asked earlier, but I was trying to understand, what does it look like to give thanks in the first place? Because I have a sense of like, okay, I have this feeling, maybe like indebtedness when somebody is giving me something. Because in the text, it's mentioned that for appetite and desire for sustenance are sort of innate or instinctive things. And I think Brother Yusuf did talk about how this appetite or desire can be an invitation, but I was trying to understand, what does it look like to give thanks, so I can try to do that more. And one of the brothers asked a question about, well, are we not making it transactional if we keep thinking about, okay, how can I give thanks if it's just with the sole purpose of I want to get more? And that also got me thinking, maybe that's not truly being thankful, because I have this agenda in the back of my head. Okay, I'm gonna get something better. So trying to think through, what does it mean to be in a state of giving thanks? First of all, is recognizing there is a giver, 100%. That is like a prerequisite. But I feel like there are many more layers to it that we can explore. Yeah, I'd like to, inshallah, maybe not this session, but eventually get to a point where we can truly understand what it's like to give thanks, so that we can take a step towards experiencing that.
So that was a very good point. Oh, yeah, now you.
I just kind of want to elaborate on your question, because your question made me think of, so is thankfulness a feeling or an action? Can you not feel thankful and still actually honestly, sincerely give thanks? I don't know. I want an answer to that as well, if anyone knows.
Jazakallah, I was not distracted. Very good point. In the text, the author talks about different things regarding to this question, and maybe we can tie it back to your question as well. He talks about this innate state of things, like animals or any creature actually, being thankful. So a plant need nutrition, and nutrition is given and start producing energy, right? The state of needing the nutrition and then, using it, it's a kind of thankfulness, author says. It is thankfulness because the plant get pleasure out of it, like enjoys it, okay? Same goes with animals. A cow eating a grass, right, gets the pleasure out of it, which is being thankful through its body, right? Through the action, maybe, through the feelings, even if they're not doing it consciously. Your body says, or their body says, I needed this, and I'm using it, and I'm happy for that. This is that means it's appreciation, right? The body appreciates it. This is a thankfulness. Same goes with you as well. When you eat something delicious, or when you are given something, your state of enjoying it, it's a thankfulness. But as a human being, on top of that, you have your consciousness as well. It's then an invitation again to think about this pleasure, understand about this pleasure, truly experience it, and then as a human again, you are given ability to talk, ability to think, right? Your thoughts, your speech, and then ability to move, your actions following it. As a whole humanity, right? Whatever you have, following the same pleasure and showing gratitude. With your tongue, you say thank you. With your thoughts, you say thank you. And with your bodily actions, for instance, I don't know, raising your hands, saying thank you. Otherwise, something that is given to you to use, your body, your ideas, your, I don't know, the speech won't be utilized. You will be missing something as a human being. So to me, as for a human being thankful going through all these, the parts together. In our worships, we do have bodily actions as well, right? Because we do have a body. We have this ability to move. Even if you don't get the idea of what this movement means, just by moving, you say that, I have, just like speech, I am given speech. And with my tongue, I'm returning my thanks. I'm saying my thanks. With my movements, I'm saying my thanks. So all of them should follow. So in that sense, like transaction, I guess the idea of transaction will be always there one way or another. Even in Quran, the Creator talks about transaction. Sell me your this and so on. But I guess what kind of transaction it is will change. So as author says, you given a bounty, you eat an apple. That's the example in the text. You are eating an apple. First, it's just an apple. You eat it, you get the pleasure, you get the taste. And let's say you are thankful for it, just for the taste. But when you step into this path of being thankful, first you start realizing all these different things of the apple that you forget before. So that was what Brother Yusuf reminding. You appreciate the taste, and then you say, oh, wait a second, it was given to me, right? So it was produced in a tree in such a way. I'm also thankful for that aspect as well. It has a beautiful color. I'm thankful for this as well. So these material things that you are thankful for is increasing. Even if you still have just one apple, but this just one apple is not just one apple anymore. Increasing. So it is this kind of transaction. By giving your thanks, what you are eating is increasing. Oh, this apple was carefully crafted for me so that it would be perfectly fit to my bodily needs. Now you are thankful for that. Oh, it's nutritious. I heard somewhere if you eat, I don't know, I'm just making up, 3 apples in a day, it will be enough for you to do this and that. Now you are happy for and thankful for that as well. All these aspects are increasing. But then also, just realizing that it was given to you by the one who creates everything, the entire universe. Such the greatness, right? Giving you a gift, taking care of you, showing his love towards you. Now this apple becomes a gift from an eternal source, infinite treasure it's coming from. So you are actually like linked to an infinite treasure now. It's not just an apple. It's a gift from all-knowing, all-merciful, all-caring Creator. That you are grateful now, thankful now. So it increased a lot. Such a beautiful transaction. Just giving one thanks, what you are thankful for increased multiple times, like infinitely many times. Okay, we are out of time, despite we started late. Any final remarks, concluding comments? سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين Al-Fatiha.